Native speakers, listen, please. Let's talk about the differences between bawl and ball. These two have exactly the same pronunciation, but one of them gets misspelled all the time. Let's start with the verb to bawl. To bawl, B-A-W-L, means to cry a lot, to cry intensely, to feel so upset about something that you lose control and break down in tears. So as you can imagine, we use this when we are feeling very emotional. You might see it in a sentence like, she bawled her eyes out when her parents left, or the kid bawled when his request for candy was refused. So when we bawl in this way, we are referring to a very strong emotional expression. On the other hand, the most common use of ball, B-A-L-L, is as a noun. It's a sphere or a circular object, one that is often used in sports. For example, pass me the ball, or when I was a kid, I got hit in the face with a soccer ball. So this is the most common use of ball, B-A-L-L, today, but there are a couple of other different uses, so let's explore those quickly in this video as well. Ball can also be used to refer to a very fancy party, kind of old-fashioned, like you might imagine in like a fairy tale book or something kind of in like a royalty situation. You might hear it in a sentence like, the king and queen threw a ball, or Cinderella lost her slipper at the ball. So while we don't really use ball so much to talk about extravagant events, because most of us aren't like royalty or celebrities or anything like that, we do, however, have the expression to have a ball, which refers to having a really great time with someone when we are invited somewhere. So for example, we had a ball with you at the park yesterday, or thanks for inviting me, I had a ball. So although we didn't, of course, attend a super extravagant party, when we say that we had a ball at something, it means that we had a really great time. The last thing I want to talk about in this video are two verb uses of to bawl, B-A-L-L. One is slang and one is not. The one that's not slang means to create a ball shape. So for example, you could say, she balled her fists in anger, or we balled up the old newspaper. This means you're creating a ball shape out of something. The last use that I want to talk about is to bawl as slang. There are a few different uses of this word as slang, but one that is very, very popular and in the media a lot these days is the meaning that refers to being very, very rich, having a lot of money and often spending that money in very obvious ways. So for example, one of my coworkers got really lucky with his investments. Now he's ballin'. Or your new car is ballin'. So usually this use of ball is in the progressive form. So that means that something is balling, and that refers to something being a very obvious or clear display of someone's wealth. You might also see someone described as a baller, someone who clearly has a lot of money and someone who is obvious about how much they spend their money. Cool, so now you know the differences between B-A-W-L ball and B-A-L-L ball. I hope that this helps you to remember the differences between the two and that you always choose the W one whenever you want to talk about being upset. I don't have a cheesy ending for this one. I bawl every time I see someone spelling ball incorrectly. Yeah. When I was a kid, I got hit in the face with a softball. That's true. Bawler.